Hello, good morning. Nice to greet you. This is the study of our English classes in the digital book, which you can find on this same social network. I invite you to subscribe, share, and comment.
Unit 5 Passive Voice with Modals and Perfect Tenses. Unit Goals. In this unit, we will review point number 1. How to use passive voice in different tenses. New teachers are being hired every week. Are being hired every week. Okay? And we will examine other point, how to use the passive voice with modals. And for example, all classes should be given in English. Other point, how to use the passive voice in perfect tenses. For example, the exams have already been graded. The grades still hadn't been recorded when he checked the computer, and more vocabulary. Passive voice with modals and perfect tenses. We have here some imagine. I think say he bakery is like a kitchen, and we have here I think is open a new business, some people, some food, and the keywords and expressions to aplicar: counter, mostrador, counter, shelf, shelves, estantes, pantry, despensa, pantry, appetizer, snack before dinner. Okay, appetizer. Or to narrow down, to reduce to narrow down. Okay. We have here one dialogue: opening a new bakery. Janet and her brother Donald are opening a bakery. It will be open in 2 weeks, and they are checking out the progress. And Donald say, "Here we are. Give me a second to open the door." And Janet say, "Look at this place. It doesn't seem like much of anything has been done. The only thing I can see is that the old furniture is gone and the walls are painted, but the floor isn't finished and nothing has been installed." Donald say, "Well, appearances can be deceiving, and you haven't been around much these last couple of weeks. Most of the work has been done in the kitchen. Come on in. The air conditioning was installed last week, and the ovens and the ventilation system are being connected right now. As you can see, fresh paint has been applied to the walls and ceilings, and the new floor has been laid. This area will be completed in a couple of days." Janet say, okay, I'm sorry. I know nothing has been done to the place in a while. Hey, it looks pretty good in here. How about the refrigerator, mixers, and containers? Have they been delivered yet? And Donald say, "I called the workers last Thursday, and the order hadn't been sent out yet. They promised that everything will be delivered by the end of this week." Janet say, "Okay, the supplies have to be bought, but things like milk and eggs can be delivered until we have refrigerators." And Donald say, of course. Janet say, good. All of the other baking supplies shall be put in the pantry when they arrive. That way we can get organized faster and start making the for the opening for the following Saturday. I shall have all of the permits in about 8 days. Donald say, has the person for the front container been hired yet? Janet say, we've narrowed it down to 3 people right now. Carol is calling their previous employers to find out a little bit more about them before we make a decision. We need someone with good people skills and who is good at sales. Donald say, right? Oh, I almost forgot. There will be 4 waiters to help us out with the cocktail party. Jan say, great. Well, it seems everything is working out fine. Donald say, yeah, don't worry, we'll be ready on time. Perfect. And we have here check your understanding. Okay, with a question. Question number 1, where are Donald and Janet? Okay, I think in a business. Okay, in a new business. Who has been supervising the work? Okay. Question number 3, what hasn't been done yet? Question number 4, has the person in charge of the front container been chosen? And question number 5, what will be served at the opening? We have here some important with concept and structure reminder with passive voice, and we use the passive voice when the door of the action is unknown, unimportant, or obvious. Passive voice can be used in almost any tense. The auxiliary be changes according to the tense. And for example, in present, the walls are painted, but the floor isn't finished yet. Okay. And past is the air conditioning was installed last week. The present continuous is the ovens and the ventilation system are being connected right now. And the future is the kitchen will be completed in a couple of days. In passive voice, the main verb is always in past participle. Okay. We have here practice number 1. We have here some important with concept and structure number 1. And say, remember, we use the passive voice when the door is known, unimportant, or obvious. We can use the passive voice with any of the modal auxiliaries. Example, the supplies have to be bought. It's obligation, have to be bought. Or other example, the milk and eggs can't be delivered until we have refrigerators. Not possible. Other example, the banking supplies shall be put in the pantry when they arrive. Recommendation. Subject, modal auxiliary, be and verb in participle form. BPP. The modal auxiliaries that follow this pattern are have to, can, may, might, could, should, and would. Perfect. We have here practice number 2, practice number 3, optional practice number 4. We have here some important with concept and structure number 2. And say. We can also use passive voice in other tenses like present perfect. And for example, have the refrigerators been deliberated yet? No, they haven't. I can repeat. Have the refrigerations been deliberated yet? No, they haven't. What has been done? Most of the work has been done in the kitchen. Fresh paint has been applied to the walls. Remember, we use the present perfect to talk about actions that began in the past and continue in the present, or to talk about action that happened at an indefinite time in the past. Perfect. We have here practice number 2, practice number 3, optional practice number 4, and we have here some important with concept and structure number 2. We can also use passive voice in other tenses like present perfect. And for example, have the refrigerators been deliberated yet? No, they haven't. What has been done? Most of the work has been done in the kitchen. Fresh paint has been applied to the walls. Remember, we use the present perfect to talk about action that began in the past and continue in the present, or to talk about action that happened at an indefinite time in the past. Okay, perfect. We have here practice number 5, practice number 7, practice number 8, and we have here some important with concept and structure number 3. And say. We can also use passive voice in other tenses like past perfect. And for example, nothing had been done to the place in a while. The order hadn't been sent out yet. We have here the subject, auxiliary, been, and BPP. Remember, we use the past perfect to talk about actions that happened before another action or another time in the past. Perfect. We have here practice number 9, and here this is important with grammar capsule. In unit 2 we learned the models we have, might have, and could have for uncertainty in the past. We can also be these modal auxiliaries in passive voice. Look at the examples below. What happened to the package that was sent last week? Why hasn't it arrived? It might have been sent to the wrong address. It may have been lost. It could have been stolen. Okay, we have here the subject, might have, may have, could have been, and the BPP. We have here in class activity number 2, listening, speaking, practice number 10, practice number 11, optional practice number 12, vocabulary review, check your progress, And this is all of this unit number 5. Thank you for listening this video. See you in the next video for speak better this language in English. Thank you, my friends. See you. Bye bye.
Financiero o financiera, un gusto saludarte. Mi nombre es Isaac Badillo y en este espacio te voy a mostrar los diferentes productos, servicios bancarios. Yo soy Isaac Badillo, tengo 9 años de carrera bancaria al día de hoy, año 2019, y quiero compartir contigo todo lo que he aprendido. El mundo bancario es bastante amplio y aquí te voy a compartir las diferentes herramientas, productos, servicios que pueden ser de tu utilidad. Bienvenido y que disfrutes este espacio.
¿Qué onda, mi amigo? Para hacerte la invitación me sigas en mi otra red Banco para ti en Instagram, YouTube y TikTok. Ahí te veo.